Welcome to the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show here at Sleep Train Arena, where the Sacramento Kings win. Pick up a nice little win against the Los Angeles Lakers, 102-92. Not exactly a game for the ages, but certainly something that the Kings needed very badly. They're now 10-19 under George Karl. They have 28 wins on the season. That is the third straight season that they've got 28 wins, and we've got one more game remaining on Wednesday in Los Angeles when the Kings again travel to face the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, let's get to a couple of keys to this game. First and foremost, Omri Casspi has been an absolute godsend for this team. He has been so good over the last couple of weeks. While Rudy Gay, DeMarcus Cousins have been injured, he's become that second or third scorer in most games. Tonight he finishes with 26 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. We actually had a triple-double watch for a little while until the assists dried up for him. His teammates stopped hitting shots. That's kind of what happened. But, man, Casspi has shown so many different things. In a George Karl system, he's shown that he's a better passer than we thought. He's a three-point shooter, which he'd really not been under Michael Malone or Tyrone Corbin at all. He's shown a lot of layers to his game, a passer, a little bit of a defender, which is something he's going to have to work on during this offseason. But if you come back into next season and Omri Casspi is your sixth man, I think you're actually pretty good. Casspi has a lot of skill. He's still only 26 years old. And more than anything else, let me tell you this, Omri Casspi wants to be here so bad. I talked to him after the game. Let's go to that tape of Omri Casspi talking about wanting to play for the Sacramento Kings.
You got free agency looming here. It seems like you got one more game here. How much would you like to be in Sacramento again?
You guys know a lot. I love it here. I want to come back. So my agent knows that. I know that. And, so I love it here.
Pretty sure you earned a spot?
I hope so.
Derrick Williams is an absolute enigma. Again, at 23 years old, he finds a way to show you flashes of brilliance and frustrate you so much within a span of 20 seconds, 30 seconds. He does it game in and game out. Tonight, he finishes with 20 points off the bench, but 1 rebound. Again, we're talking about the Coke machine, 1 rebound, 2 assists, but you just need more. You need more from him all the time. I know there was a series of plays in the fourth quarter where he was all over the court, and he looked really, really good. He's flying around. But then he has a sequence where he turns the ball over on an absolutely horrific pass attempt to Ben McLemore for an alley-oop. He follows that up with a horrible three-point attempt in transition, and then he bricks a wide-open three from the corner, all within the span of like 30 seconds. So, again, you get the good with the bad with Derrick Williams. I don't see any way that he's back with this team next year unless he wants to take considerably less. He is owed over, I guess his qualifying offer is $9 million. His cap hold is over $12 million. Again, there's no way, unless he's willing to take like a 2-year, $4 million deal, that Derrick Williams will be back with the Kings next season. All right, let's get to a couple other players. Ray McCallum continues to impress. The second-round pick from last year has started the last 29 games for the Kings in Darren Collison's absence. Tonight he finishes with 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He needs a few more assists, sure, but he also needs his teammates to hit wide-open shots. What I like about McCallum is he's really smart. He really knows how to play the game. He attacks. He's a pro's pro in the locker room. This is a kid who still has a lot of upside, a lot of potential. Having him paired with Andre Miller has done great things for him, and it's very possible that we will see this again next year, Andre Miller working with Ray McCallum. Andre Miller tonight, he goes for 10 points and 6 assists. This is a guy who Father Time just cannot slow down. Andre Miller is 39 years old. He wants to play another season. He's got one more game. Tonight, I think he proves once again that he deserves to be an NBA player regardless of his age. He's so savvy. He has the old man game we've talked about a million times. He is an impressive guy both off the court and on the court. and I'm sure the Kings would love to have him back next season. Let's get to Carl Landry. Carl Landry is that he's become sort of an albatross for the Sacramento Kings. He does not play George Karl-style basketball tonight. 14 points on 5 of 7 shooting in just 19 minutes of play. He looked really good. When you isolate him in the post and you let him do his work, he's still very, very effective. He still has a very nice 20-foot jumper, but he's a guy who cannot play fast. And the Kings are going to play fast going forward in the George Karl era. And I don't know how they can move Carl Landry. Maybe they attach him in a deal for the 6th pick in the draft, but they certainly would like to see something different than Carl Landry moving forward, just because of his limitations on speed. All right, let's get to our keys to the game. Our first key is the walking wounded. This game was absolutely ridiculous. The Lakers had 9 men in uniform, and one of those guys, Vanderblue, they signed, and he showed up at like 6 o'clock for this game. The Kings only had 10 guys in uniform, and if I'm not mistaken, David Stockton did not play tonight, so they only had 9 guys as well. Not because David Stockton was injured, but just because David Stockton has very little experience. All right, let's get to our second key to the game, which is an invitation to score. These teams are both horrendous on the defensive end, something like 28th and 27th in the league in defense. Tonight, the Kings did a really nice job. They held the Lakers to just 92 points, 42% shooting. They did get out-rebounded by this team, but I think the Kings overall did a solid job. They did not turn the ball over tonight, just 10 turnovers and 22 assists. That does help your defensive numbers when you're not turning the ball over and chasing guys down the court. They did a good job of limiting the Lakers in fast break points. The Lakers did not do a good job of limiting the Kings. On the night, we're talking about fast break points breakdown. The Lakers had just 10 points on the fast break. The Kings had 19. That's something that the Kings would like to continue, stuff like that, that nice 2-1 fast break win on the night. But again, this isn't a team. The Lakers aren't a team that can beat you from the outside, which most NBA teams can do. All right, let's get to our third key of the game. Our third key of the game is LA's young hope. Jordan Clarkson has been absolutely spectacular for the Lakers down the stretch. He's a 46 pick in the draft last year, a second-round pick, and he's averaging 16 points, right around 5 assists, right around 4 rebounds a game since jumping into the starting lineup right around the All-Star break. Tonight, 23 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and 5 steals. He's a very, very talented young man. He shoots 10 of 21 from the field. He is their everything. He's their motor right now, and it's definitely something that even George Karl talked about in his postgame. But he's just not surrounded by enough NBA players. I mean, outside of Carlos Boozer and maybe Jordan Hill, you have a lot of development in the league guys here. You have a lot of guys who may never be in the NBA again, and they're getting an opportunity just because the Lakers are so depleted. Let's get to our MVP of the night. For me, it's clear. It's Omri Casspi. He was absolutely spectacular. 26 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Again, and more than anything else, I think his comments about wanting to stay in Sacramento, that gives him a little bump as well. He's definitely a guy who loves this city. This is his second go-around in Sacramento after being drafted by the Kings. And he wants to be back next season. I think Kings fans would be very happy to see that. Overall, this was a solid win by the Sacramento Kings. They probably should have put away the Lakers much earlier than they did. We'll see these two teams have a rematch on Wednesday as the season wraps up. It's been a long, long season here in Sacramento. And I know a lot of the players are ready for this season to end, as are some of the media, just to be honest. All right, so that's going to do it for this edition of the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show. Special thank you to Kamani David for editing and filming this piece. We will be back for a Road Reaction postgame show on Wednesday night as the Kings finish up their 82-game schedule and walk into one of the most crazy, wild off seasons that I think we will ever see in Sacramento. So, I am James Ham. Thanks for tuning in to the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show.